Hi Pisces, Bailey B hanging out for another intuitive reading to help you explore your subconscious and see what's going on. Thank you for being here. I've been rolling out the members only content the last couple of weeks. We're still doing a daily card where I check in nightly about the coming day and just what we can learn from a single card. So that's been fun, and tonight I'm putting out a career reading for my members. So I hope you guys will consider joining that. We're also going to be doing some live sessions coming up soon, and my new affirmation videos, so or extended affirmation videos. So lots of cool stuff happening. I'm going to be releasing on Wednesday an Aquarius video. Then we'll be back Friday for Pisces. So we're going to expand the Bailey B bouquet. And I'm a cusper, so I've been feeling called to read for both energies lately. So I hope you guys enjoy all of the new content coming your way. Today I'm going to pull two Zen Osho tarot cards, and then we'll pull out some from the Modern Witch tarot deck. So after the weekend, what do we have for Pisces this week? What's going on with Pisces coming up this week? All right, so we have compromise and harmony. Interesting. So harmony here is representing the traditional Ten of Cups. So this is just ultimate emotional fulfillment and, I guess, harmony, that kind of peace that comes with all things flowing together in sync with one another. Your heart and your head here are both lit up in this sort of one wave of connectedness. So if you're feeling like your heart is really connected to your head right now, this is a sign that this reading could pertain to you. This might also just be a call to what we're looking forward to, what we're striving for, to connect the head and the heart energy. Our head and our heart make compromises with each other in order to make certain decisions or get us through certain situations. So maybe this is also asking us to think about what compromises we are making between our head, our thoughts, our logic, and our heart, our feelings, our emotions, and our intuition. So yeah, those are some themes to think about. All right, so let's pull out some tarot cards. I've already pre-shuffled, but let's get one more in. This is the Modern Witch tarot deck. What do we have for Pisces this week? Ooh, let's get two more for Pisces this week. All right. Knight of Pentacles on the back of the deck. We have the Seven of Cups, Five of Wands, Ten of Wands, and the World card. The World card is here for us again. We've been having this card come up repeatedly for us. This is just, I know, a frustrating repetition of the end is here. We finally graduated. Things are changing. We end up sort of dreaming and thinking about all the possibilities. We could fall in love. We could find, you know, a snake in the grass. Like, we could get rich. We could have an ultimate disaster here with the tornado. But none of this is real. These are all just fantasies until we actually take action in the real world. With our body and our words, but mostly our body, you have to actually physically do things in the world to make change. So these are nice to kind of explore for a little while, but once we've maybe touched on the possibilities mentally and emotionally, what I think we are called to do is get really specific. Like, okay, you want to find love, but what does that look like for you? You might think it's all about romance, until you actually define it, and then you're actually looking for, you know, peace and companionship. So instead of looking for romance or expecting a relationship to bring you that, and then also, but then you're really wanting something stable and peaceful, that might be a friendship or a, you know, a community relationship of some sort. So I just say this to mean, like, once we get really specific with what our needs and what our hopes and dreams look like, we are more likely to recognize them when they come across us in the real world, and we can more easily take steps towards the things that do and will actually make us happy versus the things we think will make us happy but then sort of end up leaving us empty and back in this dream world right here. So that's what we've been dealing with in the past, and I'm hoping that we can move out of this energy, me included, Pisces. I am definitely guilty of spending lots of time daydreaming and less time actually physically moving things around in order to manifest my goals, although I've worked on it over the years. So I would say I've found a pretty good balance, but it's taken me a really long time. My tendency is to stay in my head, so I definitely relate to that. The Five of Wands here is our present energy. You could feel like you're really kind of still in practice mode, still kind of going through the motions. I'm feeling like an impatience from this card. You've been among people that you can kind of practice your craft around, or that have kept you kind of in like amateur mode, but it has brought you some good lessons and teachings, and it's enabled you to kind of like exercise who you are in and among other people. But it isn't easy. I feel like it's a little bit frustrating, and this is something where you might be wanting to graduate to a higher level of operating and thinking than just this like conflict, or not even like conflict in a bad way, but like friction, right? Friction can often sharpen us or create a kind of hardiness in us. This is a good type of friction, and I feel like that's what the Five of Wands is about here. It's about this type of friction where it helps you grow and change and become a better person. But after a while, it gets really tired, and you kind of like, you're ready to move on and graduate. So I feel like that's where we are right now. It's not lost on me that these two cards have come out under harmony. I think there's something about understanding where the rubber meets the road, like where we can put our dreams to the test in real life. And that is when we get the magic sauce that actually creates change for us. I hope that makes sense. Very first win here, whether that be I'm going to find myself a new apartment, or I'm going to find myself a job where I feel actually accepted, or I'm going to join a group online that is a support group for people that have similar hardships as I'm going through. Whatever that first little win could be for you, that's, I think, what we need to be focusing on and envisioning, to avoid getting caught up in this massive daydreaming, worrying kind of energy where it's all in the mind and none of it is grounded in like real steps. So we are going from the 4, 5 to the 10 here. So there's this progression. We had the same progression last reading. It was 3, 4, 5. Was it 4, 5, 6? think it was 3, 4, 5. Anyway, progression. We're making progress here, Pisces. So keep up the good work. What is this 5 of Wands in our present? What do we need to know about? Oh, Temperance. Yeah, it's funny with the 5 of Wands here. It almost looks like the Temperance angel is practicing. It's a sense of balancing, pouring from one cup to the other and back and forth. This kind of careful movement that you might associate with like yoga or training your senses or becoming good at a skill. You can tell the amount of concentration this angel has while bringing this liquid back and forth and this alchemy. And they're also balancing one foot on the ground, one foot in the water. So the whole concept here is one of balance and equilibrium that creates something new. When you balance two things perfectly, it can turn into a new substance, hence chemistry. And especially with this clarifying this 5 of Wands energy, I feel like this is a practice for you to balance these things. You're becoming more and more keenly aware of how to balance, of what to balance and when. And although it feels like sort of a never-ending practice round for you right now, Pisces, you are moving through it right now, and you're getting better at it, and you're growing. You in the future, in the very near future, realizing that this is too much and you're about to put some of these wands down, these actions, these things in your life that you've taken on as responsibilities. You're going to start to prioritize yourself. But it is it's not an easy thing to quit compromising. It tends to ruffle feathers. It tends to confuse the people who are used to a certain behavior from us. It's a very lonely process. It's something that like we have to be so convicted about in our own gut that we, we can take all of the outside friction from others, even if it's well-meaning. A lot of times it's heavy. It's makes it harder, right, to move forward when people are around you trying to offer you other solutions or advice that you're not in a place to implement, let alone hear, or hear, let alone implement. So I think here in the future, what these cards are saying at the moment to me is that you're over compromising and you're ready to let that go. You're ready to start respecting, well, it's not really about, I don't know, respect, but it's about doing the hard thing to not continually repress yourself here and keep yourself trapped. Like if you're making the compromise to fit in with others, like this 6 of Pentacles here is about the courts in Japan is what it's referencing here, and it's about political compromise and intrigue, things that you end up doing to fit into a society or to your culture in order to make things smoother for yourself, yes, but at some point you begin to repress your real self so much that it ends up being really unhealthy and you lose your own identity. Body and the mind rejuvenate and gain energy again. I mean, it would be like not eating for, the next 6 months. Imagine what that would do to you. It's the same thing when you're not getting enough rest. If you're not eating enough, you're going to become emaciated. If you're not sleeping enough, you're going to become mentally emaciated. It's just something that we must do in order to save ourselves. It's the first thing to do. It's the number one first step when we're decluttering ourselves of the expectations of others, is giving ourselves permission to rest and take time to decompress, to quiet our minds. Because until we get to that space, we can't even see clearly. So the first thing to do, Pisces, after you're making this true statement about like you've had enough, you're too burdened, the next thing to do is to radically allow yourself to rest. It is an act of self-care, but it's also an act of rebellion. It's also an act of claiming your humanity, and it is one of the most important things that we can do for ourselves. It's also kind of a repeated theme from what I talked about in the last reading, where you rest after a period of a lot of action and learning. And I used the metaphor of exercising, doing yoga, and then laying down and letting that practice soak in and let your body feel a deep sort of rest and that feeling of exhaustion, but in a good way. It's almost like this euphoric returning of energy to the parts of your body that have been exhausted. So it's a rejuvenation of your cells. It's an infusion of energy from rest and downtime. All right, so let's get out one card for the future here, for this world card. What is the world card here for Pisces? What is here for the future? What is this world card in the future energy? Nine of Swords on the back of the deck. We have two cards out here, the Queen of Pentacles and the Hermit reversed. Interesting. So, oh, excuse me. Sometimes I don't read reversals, but I feel like this is a reversal for some reason. You'll know the people that are safer for you, and you'll know the people that deserve your energy and your input, because they'll make you feel the same kind of way. But if we don't know what that feeling is, it's really hard to identify it in life. So I'm getting that the Queen of Pentacles here is asking us to emulate her, like copy this energy of inner knowing. And I'm not talking about like always being happy. I'm talking about like sitting with yourself so intimately that you know who you are, even during tumultuous times, ups and downs. You still have a sense of self that grounds you like a root into the ground. That's the kind of feeling and concept I'm getting here with this Queen of Pentacles. And then the Hermit reversed to me is a sign that we've spent a lot of time already in hermit mode, to ourselves, doing the inner work, becoming stronger internally, wishing on that star to keep us going, identifying that light that guides us and moves us through the darkness. But that time is over now, and the Hermit reverse is telling us that it's time to come back out into the world, time to start showing yourself to others. Maybe it's even online here with the computer on this desk. But there is a sense that there is time for rest and a time for introspection and a time for being alone. And then there's also a time for sharing yourself, sharing your ideas, being able to be among people who can mirror things back to you. Like, we require feedback as humans, I was going to say as animals. Mirroring things back and forth to each other is the way we learn. Our brains have mirror neurons, and that's how we learn when we're born. what's how we learn basically in general is we basically copy what we see, right? And there are specific neurons in our brain that allow us to do that. So we need outside input from people, and we need things and entities around us that are teaching us about things that we can copy and emulate to continue to learn and grow. So we can't stay in hermit mode forever, Pisces. But overall, I'm feeling that you're coming out of a very important time of rest and introspection. I think that you have it in you to honor yourself and to bring yourself this peace regardless of what's going on outside of you. And I think it starts with just the little things, having the little successes celebrated, even just you celebrating yourself, understanding all the practice that you've done and how far you've come, really admitting that it's too much now and you're ready for rest and for a new paradigm shift. The World card is here again for us, highlighting our graduation. The Hermit carries is also basically the Star card here. So if you've been spending hermit time defining what your guiding light is and what your wish that you're headed towards looks like, it looks like it's coming towards you, and this is actually going to become a reality because you've spent the time to define it for yourself. So this is a lot of hope, Pisces. And also check out how similar this vibe is to the Temperance card, where it's like pouring these emotions back and forth, balancing on water and land, being able to, having all this practice for all this time, Pisces, has allowed you to call in this wish come true because you've been able to balance during times of more difficult energy, and now this balance is going to come natural to you and bring you to this place of just feeling so grateful for what you've got. Yeah, I'm just going to leave it there because I can't think of anything more positive than the Star card, and you getting your wish to come true, Pisces. And this is through your hard work, your practice, your balance, your inner knowing, and you not giving up and realizing that you can't continue to compromise, that you are going to head towards this wish fulfillment for yourself, Pisces. So you can do it. You're almost there. Keep the faith. I hope you have a wonderful day or night wherever you are in the world, Pisces. Please hit the like button for me. I'd really appreciate it. I'm still trying to grow the channel. And the more interaction, more comments that y'all can put down there, the better it helps me to continue to be here for you guys every other day. I also would love your participation in all the members only content that I'm putting out. If you want to contribute to the channel in a more concrete financial way, that would be amazing. You're also welcome to buy me a coffee if you really appreciate one of the readings. My Venmo is connected. And I also am doing personal readings as well. So if you guys ever want a personal reading, just email me. There's information in the description below. So thanks again. I am sending you tons of love and light, Pisces. I know you can make it through this. I know you have the strength in you, and we're all here rooting for you. So hope you live long and prosper.